Hello everyone and welcome back to another Mirror Dungeon solo video. Today we'll be using the newly released Lord of Hongyuan Honglu. This character is by and far the most complicated identity in the whole game, which is certainly saying something when we already have characters like the Thumb Capo Merceau, who have whole novels worth of text describing what they can do. Despite the amount of small intricate details that he has buried in his kit though, most of it can be summarized as him either gaining buffs from, or in turn buffing every Heishou identity who is used alongside him. The main way he does this is by using his skill 3 to order one of the Heishous to use a skill 3 of their own. It's worth mentioning that the order in which the Heishous are chosen to do the combo attack is dependent on their deployment order. So if for example you have Mao Faust in the second slot and Otis in the third, Faust will always be picked first, followed by Otis, and once there are no more fresh Heishous to pick from, it would wrap back around to pick Faust again. Every time Honglu orders a Heishou to attack this way, he gains a specific buff depending on the identity chosen. And what makes this truly interesting is that this status effect has a maximum stack size of 11, despite the fact that it can currently only reach up to 5. What this implies to me is that this identity will be receiving future buffs every single time a new Heishou identity is introduced, so look forward to that I suppose. While the combo attack is the main way he can support the team, it's not the only way he can do it. Whenever he uses his defense skill, if you have backup units, he will force one of the Heishous to use a skill 1 and retreat, healing a small amount of their health in the process. The main reason to do this though is not to save them from death, but instead to allow the substituting unit to have a free unopposed attack. For most identities, they will only use their skill 1, but for the Heishou, and more importantly, Hei family members, they will use their skill 3 instead. Hei Ishmael really was the potential woman all along. It doesn't necessarily save her though, as all of her main problems are still very much present, but it does make her substantially more viable, which is always a good thing. The last part of his kit that's really worth talking about is the fact that this is the only identity of Honglu's who can use his Tears of the Tarnished ego without dying. He can only survive it once per fight, which helps to make it somewhat balanced, but because the ego prevents him from dying until he uses the attack, using it even once makes him legitimately immortal for multiple turns, allowing him to easily survive a lot of stuff he frankly has absolutely no business being able to survive. He is absurdly powerful and good at doing virtually everything. The only thing I'd say he's somewhat bad at is supporting Rupture, as with the exception of his skill 1, all of his skills are count negative. But because he's almost always going to be paired with the Heishou, and they have Deathrite Haste, which he does actually have the ability to activate on his own, it's honestly not that terrible. Not good because it relies a lot on luck with your speed, but still not terrible. Anyway, to start the run off, we take these starter buffs and find these ego gifts on the first floor of Dregs of the Manor before making it to the boss against Hindley and the Rabbits, who are honestly quite easy due to the fact that they are weak to Honglu's base ego. Alright, here we are. The Lord of Hongyuan, Honglu. Mister, I am going to kick your ass and do it very, very coolly. Also, I'm pleased to announce that yes, indeed, I have actually beaten Kanto 8 now, finally. I literally did it yesterday. Specifically for this run. You know, because I wanted to, do the Kanto specific floors eventually. I'm not sure if we'll actually be able to do it. There's a good chance that the run will literally instantly end upon going into there, because apparently there's a potential soft lock on those on one of the floors. So that's cool. I'm still gonna try it because, you know, it's a fitting fight, but don't be surprised if this run ends a little prematurely on that floor because of a soft lock. But anyways, that's not for a long while, so no need to worry about it. As of right now, all we need to do is take a look at this super cool character. Honestly, most of his strength comes from the fact that he commands the Heishous. which means that, well, he is still powerful on his own. It's nowhere near the same level as when he's in a team. In fact, I'd say he's substantially weaker on his own. I mean, one thing about him, right, is he will almost never... He will almost never be the MVP of a team, right? Specifically because his whole gimmick revolves around giving the other Heishous his entire gimmick revolves around giving the other Heishous, you know, extra skill 3 usages. He's got two ways to do it, either by using his skill 3, right? Or by forcibly retreating them and then bringing them back out. Both ways to do it activate their skill 3s, and you know, because of that, he's effectively giving every other teammate multiple skills to use, which therefore improves their DPS and gives them a higher final damage potential than he could ever possibly have. And that's even doubly so when you're using him with Mao Faust, because she's just stupid. But I'm sure you all are aware of that. He is very strong, but most of his strength comes from the fact that he commands the Heishous. On his own, he's substantially weaker. And you know, that's kind of fair for a leader identity, I'd say. I think they should be substantially weaker on their own. We head into Hell's Chicken for the next floor, where we collect the manor-shaped music box, Rag and Umbrella, Tango Marinade, Rupture Chicken, Lithograph, and the Barbed Lasso, before making it to the boss against Papa Bongi, who's more than a little difficult thanks in large part to us being fatal to both blunt and wrath damage. Chicken time. You know, it's quite humorous that such a serious identity is faced up against such a comedic boss. I find that quite funny. I guess that could be said for a lot of characters, you know. Papa Bongi is cute. I love him. Unfortunately, he's still pretty scary though. Blunt fatality, wrath fatality, all that, you know. It's just a bit of a nasty matchup for Honglu. At least for the first turn anyways. Everything after the first turn is pretty easy. Oh my gosh, we almost two-turned him. Ridiculous. That sucks. That kind of sucks that we didn't kill him there, because... yeah, now no matter what we do, it's at least 3 turns. Because we can't kill all of the chickens at once. Unfortunate. Just did a tiny bit less damage. He had like, what, 7 HP? How unfortunate. Oh well. Easy fight is easy. Thank you, Music Box, for being the stupidest ego gift in the game. Or second stupidest. Sharp Needle takes that title. We head into Hatred and Despair for the next floor, where we collect the Broken Revolver, an extra skill 3, the Knight's Blessing, and Sundered Memory, before making it to the boss against the Knight of Despair, who's most easily dealt with but simply by playing into her gimmick. Alright. What do we have going on here? some cool stuff, I assume. I wonder if we'll be able to beat her easily. Probably. I mean, without playing into her gimmick. It's an interesting question to ask. But the answer, like always, should be, who cares? We should be supporting our queen through and through. You know, one thing that's quite interesting about this identity is the fact that he's very count negative when it comes to his skills, like for rupture count. Because his skill 3 is -3, and then his skill 3, or hold on, his skill 2 is -3 count, and his skill 3 is -2 when used with the Heishou, and then -3 when he's on his own. Or actually, no, it's -4 when he's on his own. So it's like, it's very interesting because he's kind of anti-synergistic in that sort of way, where he just doesn't really support rupture very well. I mean, the thing with that, though, is despite the fact how negative he is count-wise, it's still not that bad, considering the fact that he's fast enough to be able to trigger Deathrite Haste, because he just gains a lot of speed when used with the Heishous, right? And by nature of him forcing them to use their skill 3s, that means they apply more Deathrite Haste, and that allows him to, you know, more easily support rupture. Considering he can trigger it, they inflict more of it. So it's very, it's a weird balance between it, and it makes it kind of hard to judge how good he is in rupture specifically. Like, obviously when you're using him with the Heishous, he's going to be decent. When he's used with the Heishous, he's obviously going to be at least decent, because, you know, having, like, the ability to forcibly use skill 3s is just a really valuable tool, and even if there is no rupture involved in that at all, it's still a lot of damage. I mean, look at this. He is buffed by the Mirror Dungeon, but it's like he's doing an extra 150 damage against a very resisted enemy, right? So imagine that, but it's just the skill 3 of another character, and it kind of balances out the rupture a bit. Like, I did use him a bit before this run with the Heishou pack, and what I found was that actually being able to maintain a rupture stack was actually quite difficult. And honestly, a lot of that has to do with the fact that a lot of that just has to come down to the fact that, you know, a lot of the rupture count from the Heishous is dependent on winning a clash. And so if there is no clash to win, aka when he forces them to use their skill 3, they do miss out on a quite substantial amount of rupture count. And it makes it very easy for them to just accidentally kill the rupture stack early. So it's in a very weird spot. where obviously he can't be bad. I mean, just look at what he's doing right here. Right? And then pair that with the Heishous, who are already really powerful identities, and by no means is he bad, but effectively what I'm trying to say is his ability to play into Rupture is slightly awkward, despite the fact that it's balanced out a bit with the Heishous.
와, 엄청난 공격이었어. 기념할 만한걸?
우리 앞을 막는 증오스러운 존재들에게 나와 그대의 힘을 합쳐 위대한 사랑의 힘을 보여줄 것들! 있잖아. 사실
Alright.
소녀들은 항상 밀령단에 시달리는
One skill 3 should probably be enough. Yeah, I'm sure one skill 3 is enough.
짐승들의 재갈을 풀겠다.
아쉽다. 그치?
Almost a bit too much. But it's fine. Perfectly fine. Thank you for your service, Queenie. Arcana Slave! I love you.
당신 그래도 자! 악당 배치 성공! 오늘도 정말 멋진 활약이었어.
We head into time-killing time for the next floor, where we collect the nebulizer and imposed weight, before making it to the boss against the Time Ripper, who despite having unbreakable coins now, is no more threatening than when he was without them.
아, 그러니까 어디가 비슷하냐면 아, 힘을 얻은 분들 특유의 분위기가 꼭 닮았답니다.
몸으로 보여주지. 정작 이 정도 탕류의 허덕이나.
여러분들 기분이 좋아 보이시네요.
So the Time Ripper is obviously a very easy fight, right? Nobody is debating this. I mean, giving him unbreakable coins barely did anything. It lets him do a little bit of extra damage, but like, it really doesn't do anything. It gives a little bit of bleed damage, but other than that, and I guess this AoE attack can be kind of scary sometimes. Especially if you're fatal to it like us. But overall, he just doesn't do anything. The biggest thing is he resists slash damage, which kind of sucks, but it's workable. Anyway, one thing I find kind of interesting about this identity is the fact that he's kind of set up to continuously be buffed in the future.
하지만 파괴법 또한 있겠죠.
허나 그를 깨우치지 못하면 풍전등화와 다를 바 없겠지.
And basically what I mean by that is he's the master of all 12 Heishou packs, right? And every time he does a combo attack with one of the Heishou identities, he gains a specific buff for that identity. And in particular, right, that buff, it can go up to 12 stacks, right? And I haven't done much testing with it, so maybe it currently is capable of going up to 12 by, you know, double stacking. Like if he does 2 combo attacks with I don't know, Mao Faust, for example, would he get 2 of her unique buffs or only 1? I'm not entirely sure on that. But anyways, I am under the assumption that he does not, in fact, gain multiple stacks of the same buff. So if he combos attack with Faust twice, he only gets one of her unique buff. That's the assumption I'm under currently. And because of that, it sort of implies that he will be able to gain more buffs in the future as more Heishou identities are released. Which is kind of cool. I like that. I like that he's basically set up to effectively get more powerful in the future. So that's something to look forward to if we ever receive any more Heishou identities. This character is going to get stronger as well. It's only like a very marginal amount of strength. It'll only be like a very marginal amount of strength because it's basically a small little minor buff for doing a combo attack with a specific identity, but it's still a buff nonetheless that he will receive guaranteed every single time we get a new Heishou identity. Or at least Project Moon should do that, and if they don't, it will be very disappointing for me.
아마 그 공격이 약점이었겠죠? 오늘도 정말 멋진 활약이었어.
We head into the Infinite Procession for the next floor, where we find the Standard Duty Battery and Resolution, before making it to the boss against the Bloodfe Trio, who are relatively easy to deal with as long as you have some kind of anti-bleed. Alright, pretty easy fight against the Blood Fiends. They're not scary at all because they don't do fatal damage. And their bleed is entirely countered by just having Princess Rhodia's support passive, so very cool. Very, very cool. It just kind of, it sucks a little bit that they're resistant to slash damage, but it really doesn't matter that much. We're probably getting staggered here because, you know, the little bit of bleed damage that does get through is a bit much, but Manor Shape Music Box says hi, and yeah, easy fight. You know, one thing that I just now remembered that we even have that kind of makes this identity a little ridiculous is he's immortal right now, you know. If he drops to 0 HP, he won't die. And it's like, he's not the only identity to have that ability, you know? Like, Bamboo Hat and Merceau has it as well. But the difference between the two of them is, for Merceau, you have to, you know, have a pride resonance in order for his immortality to activate. But for Honglu, it's just permanently active as long as you have enough, as long as you have 5 gluttony resources. So, yep, he's just straight up stronger. Nothing else to it. And that reminds me, I've probably already mentioned it before in the intro sequence, but I do want to mention it again in case I didn't. His passive also allows him to effectively ignore the guaranteed kill from his Tears of the Tarnished ego. However, the thing with that is it's not as good as it sounds initially, right? Because it is very powerful, don't get me wrong. But it's not like it permanently saves him, right? Because using the Tears of the Tarnished gives him the what's it called? The Tarnished Blood status effect, which does 20% of his max HP of damage every turn per stack, and it goes up to 5. So at 5, it just insta kills him. And the thing with that is him surviving the initial attack does not remove that status effect. So it's like, while technically speaking, it does allow him to survive it, it's not a permanent thing, because he's still going to die the next turn regardless to the Tarnished Blood status effect. So it basically just allows him to survive an extra turn afterwards, and that's basically it. Unless you can retreat him somehow with, like, Ishmael or somebody. We head into Nocturnal Sweeping for the next floor, where we find Deathseeker, Hairstride, Greycoat, Thunderbranch, Broken Greatsword, Fragment of Desire, Clear Mirror Calm Water, and finally Lunar Memory, before making it to the boss against the Sweepers. We got lots of goodies for this fight, which is very, very nice, because yeah, these guys are kind of scary. They're also faster than us, because we only gain speed by having Heishous on the team, and we don't have any. Fortunately, we just do a metric ton of damage, so it doesn't matter. I wonder if this will insta-kill. If this insta-kills, it's actually kind of beneficial, because one good thing about this attack is if it kills, like it did, yeah, the follow-up attack goes into somebody else, which is a very nice benefit of his skill 3. It also does that if the Heishou he combo attacks with kills with their own skill 3, so pretty much no matter what happens, he always gets to use his skill 3 after using the Answer Me Heishou's attack, which is very, very nice. It's very nice that it's very nice that happens. Because no matter what happens, it's guaranteed that it does something good. You always get multiple skills off, is what I'm trying to say with it, and very beneficial. It probably also synergizes incredibly well with the Rusty Commemorative Coin Eco Gift, since it is a single coin attack, right? I do want to eventually get the Commemorative Coin in this fight, so, or not this fight, but this run. So hopefully we do manage to pick it up at some point. But if we don't, it's fine. He's still powerful enough without it, so it would just be a nice little bonus, if anything else.
승리도 시간 문제겠지?
넌 푸름을 틔울
방금 공격은 좋았어. 이대로만 계속해보면 좋을 텐데.
넌 푸름을 틔울 수
상담에서 알려준 대로 잘했어. 역시
목을 떨고 싶어.
프로그램을 진행한 건
넌 푸름을 틔울 수도 없겠구나. 넌 푸름을 틔울 수도 없겠구나.
조금만 더 힘내자. 이제 정말
짐승들의
대체
죄가
중학까지 얼마 남지 않았어.
목을 떨고 주마. 넌 푸름을 틔울 수도 없겠구나.
I really like the sweepers. They're probably
넌
my second favorite, like, faction, I'd say, after R-Corp. They're just so interesting. I do really hope we get to see more of them in the future.
이번 기발한 발상을 떠올리시면
And specifically, I want
넌 푸름을
Dante to be able to talk to them.
어떻게 하신 거죠?
짐승들의 죄가
깜짝 놀랐어요.
I want sweeper identities, man.
넌
They'd be weird, but also pretty cool.
머리 좋다 단테. 방금 완전 좋았어.
넌 푸름을 틔울 수도 없겠구나. 그렇게
I wish we got sweeper identities when this intervalo came out, but we got the Heishou instead.
자, 악당 패치 성공. 오늘도 정말 멋진 활약이었어.
We head into the evil defining for the next floor, where we collect the strange glyph inscriptions, Shadow Bamboo Hat, Punctured Memory, and Crushed Memory before making it to the boss against the Pekqua Trio. Let's go, we got the good fight. The one that's actually somewhat challenging instead of the easiest fight in the game. Let's go. And look at our egos. We got literally everything, to be honest. All of the memories, the fragment of desire,
역시 여기 숨어 있었네요.
critting, just so much damage. We literally stagger Starbuck there. And almost stagger Queequeg too. They don't even do enough damage to stagger us normally. Like, we just straight up win right here. Unless we lose the clash. But yeah, this staggers Queequeg, so the entire gimmick of Ahab hiding behind her doesn't work. In fact, yeah.
다들 첫 여정을 시작했을 때보다 정말 강해지셨네요.
And then we just kill Starbuck.
지금은 감회가 새로워요.
Focus down Ahab. GG easy. Super easy fight. Harder than her other one because her other one is bugged beyond all belief, but still pretty easy for what it is.
대성공이야.
I mean, a lot of it has to do with the fact that we do way too much damage right now. Like, what floor is this? Like floor 7 or something, I think? And we're already basically at max power. There are a few things we could do more, but
좋았던 것 같네.
not really much.
칼날이 잘 드네요. 아마 그 공격이
And imagine this with the Heishou, right? Like,
매번 기발한 발상을 떠올리시네요.
so much more powerful.
오늘도 정말 멋진 활약이었어.
We head into 4 houses in Greed for the next floor, where we find the Tenacity Bolus, an extra skill 3, Smoking Gunpowder, Charge type gloves, and the Guiding Gas Lamp before making it to the boss against the Hei Family. Alright, first time doing this floor.
하지만
Ever.
당황하지 말고 침착하게
We're
대응하는
up against the
괜찮을 거예요,
Hei.
대장님.
Very interesting. They look pretty powerful. I mean, look at that. 66, 44, 44, 80, 18. Definitely scary. It shouldn't be that bad, except for the fact that we're incredibly slow. Yippee. Alright, take two. This time it's substantially better than the first. Oops, not that one. First attempt was absolutely horrendous because we just got outsped and instantly lost. Very cool. I love this game sometimes.
흐름을 따라 달려가면 역시 여기 숨어 있었네요.
At least this time it's no problem. I mean, just look at how powerful that attack was. You don't even get staggered. Very cool. Pretty close, honestly. I'm surprised we managed to stagger Shia Zen, whatever his name is. I don't know. These names from this entire canto are just... I can't pronounce half of them, I'm gonna be honest. Also, you know, one interesting thing about specifically this attack right here is the fact that it doesn't actually trigger defense skills, which means that it doesn't trigger counters. Like, he should have used a counter right there, but he didn't. And it's pretty interesting because since it sends the it forces one of the Heishous to use their skill 3, it means that unless the enemy is using 2 counters, Honglu will never be hit by a counter when using that attack. Because either the Heishou takes the counter for him, or he staggers them before it happens. Also, since we're here, and this is basically the family hierarch event thing, right? One thing that honestly kind of confused me about this Identity's uptie story was why was Ishmael the family hierarch at the end there? Because the only reason Ji-chun became the hierarch in this story is because Jia-ki, the character who this identity is based off of, gave Honglu all of his coins so that Honglu could, you know, save the day, basically. But in the alternate world, right? Honglu is Jia-ki, so he has nobody to give his coins to, and therefore nobody would give Ishmael the coins, and therefore she would never be the family hierarch, since she would just, you know, she wouldn't have enough coins. So it's just, it doesn't make sense. That part just doesn't make sense to me. Ishmael would never be the family hierarch in the alternate reality because she would never have enough coins at the end of the battle royale. At least that's my opinion anyway. So minor inconsistency that kind of doesn't make sense with this guy's uptie story. Other than that, though, it's pretty good. It's a pretty good story. I definitely like it. Anyway, this fight's super easy. Never done it before. Absolutely no challenge.
고작 이 정도 넌 푸름을 틔울 수도 없겠구나.
적합한 관리법이었어요. 다행이에요.
넌 푸름을
차포
틔울 수도
자리야.
없겠구나.
예상한 것보다 움직임이 더 좋구나.
오늘도 정말 멋진 활약이었어.
We head into Refraction Railway Line 5 for the next floor, where we find Finifugality, UPS System, and Artistic Sense, before making it to the boss against Section 2, which is quite difficult thanks to Honglu having no egos that can simultaneously clash well and hit everyone at the same time. Hooray, Section 2! The theoretical hardest one of them all. And the one we're going to absolutely annihilate by going Dragon Mode. Or at least that is the hope. But we just underspeed and lose instantly. Very cool. Alright, this time we don't underspeed. Line 2, let's see, can we actually win a clash here? No, of course not. Tears of the Tarnish sucks for clashing. This is why Honglu is not a particularly good identity for... or not a particularly good character for this kind of stuff. Ooh, yeah, we take a lot of damage here. He might actually die. This is gonna be a rough fight. This is gonna be a real rough fight. What can we do? Best I can think of is... Dimension Shredder U. Hopefully stagger those two in the back. We're gonna be stuck here for a while. I can feel it.
여기구나.
If it did a heads roll, maybe. Yeah, we're absolutely gonna be stuck here for a while. Unless Tears of the Tarnish can somehow manage to win a clash, we are going to be stuck here for a very, very long time. I just gotta hope he loses. Yeah, that happens. And then I have to hope we don't die here. Because there's a very good chance we do.
여기구나.
완벽한 한방. 시원한 걸?
At least we have a bit of wiggle room, right? Like, the immortality stuff. So yeah, yuck. Ow. Oh, we're on a timer. Okay, let's hope this works. We're on a timer. We got like 5 turns. Maybe less. I don't know if we can do it.
개체들의 체력이 많이 깎여 나갔어. 괴로워하는 게 느껴지지 않아? 이 기세로 계속 나아가 보자.
모든 무상무정 시선에 와야
It's not looking good.
칼날이 잘 드네요.
적 흥진 세상.
아마 그 공격이 약점이었겠죠?
이런 무력한 상황에서
Yeesh.
저는 항상 눈을 돌리고 무상히 미소 지었어요.
Yeah, we can't take this.
이젠 그러지 않아도 되는 거니까요.
숨겨둔 수.
This is a real rough fight. Maybe we can... if we could just get Tears of the Tarnished off. Even if it's just with the unbreakable coins, it would still be good enough. I think. This should still probably be good enough, even though we lost the clash, hopefully. Yeah, it is. Okay, good. Alright, go in dragon mode.
노래 부를까?
짐승들의 재갈을 풀겠다.
This is the only hope to do it.
너무 세게 맞은 건 아니.
시원한 스윙!
And now we're put on a timer.
저 멀리 날아가는 소리 안 들리나?
We have like, I don't know, 6 turns or something like that.
짐승들의 재갈을
Which means there's no reason not to just spam it every single turn. Actually, we have more than 6 turns. It's more like 7, maybe 8.
다음에 다른 게 영상으로 남기면
첫 여정을 시작했을 때보다 정말 강해지셨네요.
because of Honglu's semi-immortality.
아마 그 공격이 약점이었겠지.
And also the fact that he can survive the ego, but it still will be a while. I don't remember if I mentioned it. I probably did mention it before, but yeah, he's always on a timer. Like his whole immortalities thing is very powerful, but it also doesn't necessarily save him because he always has tarnished blood. It always gives him tarnished blood afterwards. And it only saves him once per fight. So the tarnished blood will always kill him, like immediately after he uses the awakening ego, the one that kills him. Which is why it's fairly balanced that he can survive one of them, because he won't be able to survive two.
방금 어떻게 하신 거죠? 깜짝 놀랐어요.
And here is Mr. Friendly Fire Man. Man, names are so hard to pronounce. This guy, he's one of the guys who just,
완벽한 한방.
unless you speak German, good luck, right? Like, I've tried to pronounce his name multiple times and it doesn't work, okay? It just straight up doesn't work. I could look it up, but, you know, Google Translate is the most unreliable resource imaginable when it comes to pronunciations. It's good sometimes, but most of the time it's just absolutely god-awful. So I'm just gonna choose to, you know, never call him by his name because I will 100% mess it up. Yep, that is definitely the hardest floor to beat on this floor.
정말 멋진 활약이었어.
We head into Surrendered Witnessing for the final floor, where we find the night vision goggles, wrist guards, and flower in the mirror before making it to the final boss against Jia Qi. All right, good. We got the Jia Qi fight. Nice. Let's hope he's not the one that soft locks the game. I don't know which one does it. It could be him or it could be the other fight, but either way, there is a chance we just instantly get soft locked here and can't beat this fight. In which case, oh well, I guess. Valiant effort. Just know that, yeah, we could absolutely beat this fight very easily.
어떻게 하신 거죠? 깜짝 놀랐어요.
It's just yeah, there's a soft lock going on right now in this floor. I don't know what the soft lock is. I don't know if it's in this fight or if it's in the other one. But it does exist. To my knowledge, it does exist.
가령 신나. 노래 부를까?
Let's just hope it doesn't happen. I get the feeling that it probably does have something to do with this identity. But hopefully it has to do with this identity when used with the Heishou and not this identity on his own.
개체들의 체력이 많이 깎여 나갔어. 괴로워하는 게 느껴지지 않아?
So hopefully we're fine.
기세로 계속 나아가 보자.
We'll see in a minute.
조금만 더 힘내자. 이제 정말 개체의 제압까지 얼마 남지 않았어.
This is a fairly scripted fight too, to be honest. Which is why I get the feeling that it is this one. Okay. Yippee, losing clashes. You know, one good thing about this skill with losing clashes is the actual main attack itself isn't affected by the clash loss. Which is very nice, you know? Like the one that triggers the main attack is affected by the clash loss, but the other one isn't. It's at full power, always, even if you lose a clash.
오늘도 정의로운 날이 될 수 있도록 힘내자.
Alright, let's hope. Arcana beat. Let's hope we can do this. Ugh. She's scary. Gia Ki is more threatening. It doesn't look like we're gonna get soft lock, but who knows? We haven't actually triggered any sort of like phase transition or anything. Like the whole soft lock, what I know of it is it just prevents. Okay, yeah, that didn't kill. Yeesh. Or did it? I'm not sure if that staggered or not. I think it did. She didn't attack, so it must have staggered. If it didn't stagger, we're... Okay, I thought we might have got a soft lock there for a second. Honglu just didn't show up. We'll see. Anyway, as I was saying, how the soft lock works is it just... The boss doesn't take any damage. And so you get stuck in the fight. It looks like he's taking damage though, so... We might be in luck. It might be the other fight, honestly. The more this happens, the more I'm getting the feeling that Gia Ki isn't the one that has the soft lock. It's Gia Mew. So we're probably fine. We turned off our wrath weakness, right? I hope we did. Yeah, it looks like we did. Good. This might hurt. Oh my god, we're literally like 2 HP away from losing the fight. That's ridiculous.
또 한 줄 길을 남겼군. 핏물진 길일 뿐이지만 세월이 지나면 홍우는 그제야 알게 되겠지. 이 홍루가 무엇을 바꾸었는지를.
And that's how I beat 10 floors of Mirror Dungeon 6 hard using only the Lord of Hongyuan Honglu. He's pretty powerful on his own thanks to having lots of coins and really high damage, but of course using him on his own is using him in his weakest state. Even if you don't have any of the other Heishou, he still has some value with his retreat gimmick, but he really does need to be used with at least one other Heishou in order to truly shine. Anyway, that's it for me. Like and subscribe for more videos like this one. Goodbye!